Your brain doesn't distinguish between a chosen lesson and a headline in your feed. It simply wires itself around whatever you repeatedly expose it to. By scrolling through content curated by others, you are allowing algorithms to choose your thoughts and, over time, your beliefs. We can fix this. By the end of this video, you will have a personal, 5-step self-study blueprint to consciously direct your own education. To build this, you need to actively participate. Grab a physical notebook and a pen right now so we can map out your blueprint together. Before we write anything down, we have to establish a prerequisite. You have to define who you want to become in the future. Whether you want to be a highly effective parent or a high-level entrepreneur, that specific identity dictates exactly what you need to learn. Once you decide on a target identity, you stop acting as a passive consumer of random content. You become the active architect of your mind. Step 1 of our blueprint is to consume intentionally. Look at that future identity you just defined. Now, isolate the single most critical skill required to get you there. Open your journal to a blank page. At the very top, write down your target skill. For example, if you are an entrepreneur struggling with sales, your target skill is objection handling in sales. A common trap is trying to learn 5 different things at once. Instead, pick one skill and obsess over it for an entire year. Ignore everything else. From this point forward, your inputs change. The podcasts you listen to, the books you buy, and the social accounts you follow should all be ruthlessly curated around this single topic, rather than random drama. Narrowing your focus to a single, specific action turns an overwhelming ocean of available information into a highly targeted weapon for your own personal growth. Now for step 2, reflect. Draw a box right below your target skill. This is your space to document exact use cases. For instance, you might write, I learned the feel, felt, found method. I can apply this on my 2 p.m. client call. You need a strict rule for this step. Every time you finish a podcast or reach the end of a chapter, you must pause. Instead of immediately jumping to the next piece of content, ask yourself, what can I apply right now? That leads directly to step 3, apply immediately. Knowledge lives in the brain after reading a book, but skills are only created when you physically use that information in the real world. There is a non-negotiable deadline for this application phase. You must take action today, not next Monday. The faster you apply what you just learned, the faster you trigger the physical mechanisms in your brain that build new neural pathways. Without immediate physical execution, reading is simply entertainment. All that accumulated knowledge remains entirely useless to you. Step 4 is repeat. Taking action once creates almost zero lasting change. Scheduled, repetitive action is how you actually build a permanent skill. Think of neuroplasticity like fresh, wet concrete in your brain. Every experience or action you take leaves a temporary footprint. As you repeatedly execute that same action, those footprints expand and carve a permanent, distinct dirt road through the gray space. With enough repetition, your brain automates the process, just like when you learn to drive a car. The path becomes a multi-lane paved highway, letting you execute complex actions completely on autopilot. Repetition forces your neurons to fire and wire together. You are restructuring the physical pathways of your brain to make success an automatic habit. The 5th and final step is to teach it. Take the concept you just applied and explain it to a coworker, a spouse, or a friend. If you live alone or don't have someone to practice with, you can write out a lesson plan in your journal or simply teach it out loud to an empty room. Teaching serves a specific mechanical purpose. It forces your brain to take raw, loose pieces of information and organize them into a coherent, structured idea. Teaching also exposes your own blind spots. As you attempt to explain the idea, you will notice gaps in your understanding, showing you exactly where you need to go back and restudy. Teaching proves definitively whether you have built a real, functional skill or if you simply memorized a passing fact. Look down at your completed notebook page. You no longer have a vague reading list of random topics. You have a concrete, step-by-step action plan. Most people fall into the trap of being a collector, hoarding books and media without taking action. Your new identity is the applier, focused on turning single concepts into physical results. If someone gave you $1 million, you would likely spend every single day protecting it from thieves. Your attention is the asset that determines your habits, your identity, and your life. Yet it is currently being stolen all day long. Take your Witten target skill right now. Find exactly one video or podcast chapter about that specific topic and execute step 1. When you execute this blueprint, you shift control of your future away from the algorithms and place it firmly in your own hands.